Mr. Parati's not here. Mr. Newton?
Here.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Facto's not here. Mr. Randall?
Here. Okay, this is our organizational meeting. Thanks for everybody braving the cold and coming out here tonight. We'll try to get through this and get you home before you freeze to death.
Thank you.
Alright, organizational meeting January 4th of 2022, resolution 22-1, first one of the year. Motion by, be it resolved that the town board approves the following appointments for the year of 2022 with the exception of the town attorney for the town appointment through 2023, which will be a 2-year appointment for that one position. So Senior Citizens Liaison, Phyllis Rock. Court Clerk, Donna Hamill. Court Clerk, Mary Sorrell. Codes Enforcement Officer, William LeCount. Receptionist, Sheila Martin. Water Secretary, Donna Hamill. Secretary to the Plan Board, Sandy Reel. Secretary to the Zoning Board, Kelsey Russell. Town Attorney for the town, Michael McCormick, which will be a 2-year term. Appeals Attorney will be Thomas Vernane. Planning Board Attorney will be Thomas Vernane. Youth Director, James Sam Campbell. Dog Control Officer, Cliff Christian. Historian, Barbara Banquet. Planning Board Chairman, Victor McCaslin. Zoning Board Chairman, Frank Dorrance. Assistant Historian, Marge Wood. Official newspaper will be the Press Republican. Official banks will be TD Bank North. Official dog shelter will be Elmore's SPCA. Town board meetings will be held on the 4th Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. unless noted on attached calendar. If the 4th Tuesday falls on a holiday, the meeting will be held on the following Wednesday at 6 p.m. Town board work sessions will be the 1st and the 3rd Monday as needed at 6 p.m. unless noted otherwise on the calendar.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Newman.
Second.
Mr. Bruno. Any discussion?
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay, resolution 22-2, motion by, be it resolved that the town board approves the following committees. Highway, Mike Parati and Howard Newton. Youth, Howard Newton, Mike Parati. Senior Citizens, Reginald Facto with Vern Bruno. Landfill, Kevin Randall with Howard Newton. Water Districts, Kevin Randall with Reginald Facto. Budget and Audit and Finance will be Kevin Randall with the full board. Planning and Appeals Board, Vernon Bruno, Howard Newton. Legislator, Kevin Randall and the full board. Assessment, Vernon Bruno, full board. Fire and Ambulance, Kevin Randall and the full board. Dog Control, Reginald Facto, Vernon Bruno. Safety and Codes, Kevin Randall, Reginald Facto. Building and Grounds, Mike Parati, Vernon Bruno. Personnel, Kevin Randall, Mike Parati. Can get a motion.
Motion.
Mr.
Second.
Bruno. Seconded by Mr. Newton. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yeah. Okay, resolution 22-3. Motion by whereas there are some times in which the supervisor must make certain decisions concerning certain contracts other than major contracts in the day-to-day operations of the town, and whereas often these decisions have to be made before the town board meets to approve the signing of these documents, it is hereby resolved that the town board authorizes and directs the supervisor may sign certain contracts other than major contracts on behalf of the town board without prior resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Newton,
Second.
by Mr. Bruno. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Okay, resolution 22-4. Motion by whereas Audit and Control has recommended that the town board adopt a resolution annually to pay certain bills without benefit of audit before payment. It is hereby resolved that the town board authorizes payment of utilities, postage, freight, and express charges prior to the board audit as needed. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Bruno. Seconded by Mr. Newton. And a roll call.
Mr. Newton.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Randall.
Yes. Okay, resolution 22-5. Motion by whereas the town board has provided in the past for reimbursement to the town employees and officials for use of personally owned vehicles for town business. Be resolved that the town board hereby provides for reimbursement to the town employees and officers for official and approved use of personally owned vehicles at the rate what the IRS schedule is at the time, excluding travel to and from regular workplace, office, courtroom, and be it further resolved that mileage is documented by individual trip to include dates, destination, and miles computed, and that such request for reimbursement is made by submission of an authorized voucher submitted to the town board monthly. Just under discussion, the 2022 rate is 58 cents a mile, and that's pretty much the same as it was in 2021, just so the board's advised.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Newman,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bruno. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Newton.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Randall.
Yes. Alright, resolution 22-6, a motion by whereas a board of ethics was created and 3 members were appointed, it be it hereby resolved that the town board of the town of Schuyler Falls appoints Anis Lamora, Keith Defiant, and Martin Karate to the board of ethics, his or her term of office being effective immediately and expiring December 31st of 2022. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Bruno,
Second.
Mr. Newman. Roll call.
Mr. Newton.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Randall.
Yes. Alright, resolution 22-7. Motion by whereas section 194B of the general municipal law requires every town to adopt internal policies and procedures governing all procurement of goods and services not subject to the bidding requirements of the general municipal law or any other law, be it hereby resolved that the town of Schuyler Falls procedures for the purchase of commodities, equipment, or goods for public works, projects, or contracts, for professional services and consultants, and for purchase orders will be as outlined in the procurement policy that is filed in the town clerk's office and to be followed by all town of Schuyler Falls personnel.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Newton,
Second.
by Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? All right. Roll
Mr.
call.
Newton.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Randall.
Yes. All right, resolution 22-8, motion by whereas according to section 2910 of town law, the supervisor must prepare and file with the town clerk within 90 days after the expiration of each fiscal year, an annual financial report accounting for all monies received and dispersed by him, together with the certification of the bank or trust companies where town monies are deposited, showing the amount of monies on the deposit, be it hereby whereas in lieu of the present financial report of the supervisor required by section 2910 of the town law, the town board may determine by resolution that the supervisor shall submit to the town clerk within 90 days after the close of the fiscal year a copy of his report to the state comptroller. It is hereby resolved that the supervisor may submit to the town clerk a copy of the report to the state comptroller in lieu of the financial report of the supervisor. Motion by Mr. Bruno,
Second.
Mr. Newton, any discussion? All right, roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall? Cross out Potiker.
That
Copy and paste.
was a couple years ago, that's all right. All right, resolution 2209. Motion by, be it resolved that the town of Schuyler Falls 2022 fund balance policy be and the same as the one filed in the town clerk's office and hereby is approved effective this date. And the supervisor be and he hereby is authorized and directed to implement same for the town. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr.
Second.
Newman. Seconded by Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. All right, resolution 2210. A motion by, be it resolved that the town board has determined after being audited by New York State Department of Audit and Control that each department head will conduct an inventory of all equipment over the amount of $500 in value and submit the completed inventory to the town board by March 1st of each year.
Motion.
Mr. Bruno,
Second.
Mr. Newman, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. All right, resolution 2211. A motion by, where be it resolved that the town of Schuyler Falls 2022 investment policy be and the same as the one filed in the town clerk's office and hereby is approved effective this date, and the supervisor be and he hereby is authorized and directed to implement same for the town. I get a motion.
Motion.
Mr. Newman,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Bruno. Any discussion? All right, roll call.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Randall?
Yes. Resolution 22-12. Motion by 2022 salary schedule, elected officials, appointees, and employees. So we'll go down through these. Kevin Randall, Town Supervisor, will be $24,000. Howard Newton, Town Councilman, $6,774. Vernon.
That should say
that
Bruno.
should be it.
Oh, okay.
When's the correcting? Vernon Bruno, Town Councilman, $6,774. Reginald Facto, Town Councilman, $6,774. Martin Parati, Councilman, $6,774. Justice Rhonda L. Barber, $14,457. Phil Van Ortwet, Justice, $14,457. Donna Hamill, Town Clerk, Tax Collector, $32,872. Michael Snyder, Highway Superintendent, $60,770. James Staley, Motor Equipment Operator, hourly, $22.55. Paul Sarbo, Motor Equipment Operator, $22.74 hourly.
And mechanic.
And mechanic, thank you. Paul LaCourte, MEO, $22.55 hourly. David Amell, MEO, Crew Supervisor, $23.28 hourly. Gregory Keith, MEO, $22.55 hourly. Please note annual hourly rates for the highway crew does not include overtime pay, which averages between $1,000 and $2,000 per year per employee. Appointed officials. Town secretary, $36,440. Deputy town clerk, $18.17 hourly. Codes enforcement officer, $35,122. Budget officer, $1,533. Assessor, $33,110. Court clerk number 1, $11,794. Court clerk number 2, $11,794. Water department clerk, $10,272. Town attorney, $11,407. Dog control officer, $11,654. Youth program director, $10,737. Zoning clerk, $138.24 per meeting. Planning clerk, $138.24 per meeting. Receptionist, $17,725. Custodian services, $75 per cleaning. Historian, $3,359. Assistant historian, $919. Buildings and grounds, $17.51 hourly. Head laborer, $15 hourly. Part-time and seasonal employee starting rate is $13.20 an hour, with the current percentage raise each year, if any, added